As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and just as you enter it, you will find a coat tied there, which no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you doing this?' tell him, 'The Lord needs it, and will send it back here shortly.'"
All right. All right. In our story today in Mark chapter 11, Jesus and the disciples are approaching Jerusalem. And as Mark helps us understand, Jesus is approaching Jerusalem for the last time. He is entering into Jerusalem beneath the shadow of the cross, because his time is not long. He has come to what our grandparents and parents would say. He has come to the last mile of the way. And all of us, at some point, one day, are going to reach what's called the last mile of the way. And it's important for us to understand what we're leaving behind in terms of legacy. And here, Mark allows us to have some of the final thoughts of Jesus. Now, who can know the mind of God? No one. But of course, Mark gives us a glimpse, at least, of what Jesus is thinking as he is reaching Jerusalem for the last time, approaching Jerusalem. And he is at that point, which is called the last mile of the way. All right. Now we see the Messiah. So now let's look at what's called the mission. The mission. Notice here in the mission that, first of all, Jesus is sending two disciples to the next village. They are arriving there. They are approaching two villages, right? But Jesus sends them to the next village, and it's almost as though it's a kind of a secret mission. I kind of get the impression Jesus is calling those two disciples and having a conversation with them apart from the group, and says, "Go to the next village." All right, we see the sending, and then we also see what's called the saving, the rescuing of one donkey. The instructions to the disciples are, when you get to the next village, you'll find a donkey that's tied up, a colt donkey that's tied up. Untie it, and bring it to me. And if anyone should ask, you tell them that the law has need of it. Okay. And now here's where my curiosity begins. This is kind of where I struggle a little bit, and I need your help, because first of all, we saw the sending and the saving, and now we're looking at the selecting in terms of why that particular donkey. Because now we're near two villages, but Jesus sends the disciples to a third village. So were there not any donkeys in the village or the two villages that they are near? Why that donkey? And then, why those two disciples? Now, remember when they signed up, Jesus said, "Follow me, I will make you fishers of men." But we also understand that not all of the disciples were fishermen. And is it because perhaps these two disciples have some kind of specialty that they're able to provide the needed service of this particular situation, where they would be dealing with a different group, perhaps here, even animals. So why those two disciples? I guess what I'm trying to get at is, what is the qualifying criteria for both the donkey and the disciples? Why are they chosen rather than Peter, James, and John? And who's to say that it wasn't Peter or James and John? We don't know. We just know that they're unnamed. And in terms of the donkey, notice, wow, Jesus says, just untie it. Don't clean it up. Just bring it to me. All right, I'll leave that alone. Yeah. All right, and then here's my question in terms of, notice the instruction Jesus gives. He says, untie it, bring it to me, and then if anybody should ask. It seems to me that's a little out of order. Shouldn't it have been knock on the door, tell them that you're here to retrieve the colt, the donkey, and Jesus is ready for us to pick it up? But that's not what Jesus said. He says, untie it, bring it to me, and then, and only then, if anyone should ask, let them know it's me. And listen, and I will return it shortly. All right, and now here's my question in terms of Lent. Of course, as Christians, we're in Lent season and we're pushing away our plates. We're fasting and praying, and we're going to have our high holy days. We're going to have the Friday services. We've had Ash Wednesday. We're going to have a holy day on Easter, and the world knows that we're here. We're here because every restaurant has a fish menu because they know that during this season, Christians have a tendency to not buy as much red meat, but more. So everybody has a fish special. And so my question is, when we're doing all of this, the question is, who are we untying? I think that's probably what this Lent season should or could be about. Not only getting ourselves right? This is what we do during Lent. We do the cleansing, the restoration, the renewing, getting closer to Jesus during this time. That's personal. But who are we untying? Help me. I gotta go.